Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Renee, and you are at Nene's Hobbies. We have Miss Haven down here helping us along with our video today. I want to welcome you to my channel. If you are a new person watching me, thank you so much for being here. And of course, if you have been with me for a while, I want to let you know that I really appreciate you coming back all the time. So the reason that my channel is called Nene's Hobbies is because my granddaughter calls me Nene. Like I said, my name is Renee, and so she calls me Nene, and I have a lot of hobbies. This channel started off as being pretty much just about post-crossing, but now I've decided to bring in some of my other hobbies. So cross stitch, card making, sewing, anything that I get up to is some of the stuff that I'm bringing in. So I've got a lot to share with you. Maybe you saw my last video. I went to StitchCon. I'll talk a little bit more about that briefly when I get to the cross stitch. But for right now, let's start off with the bread and butter of this channel, where we're going to take a look at postcards. And today what I've got is I have official postcards for you. I've also got some direct swaps, and I've also got my monthly order from the postcard mixer to share with you. So let's get started with our official postcards. So the first one comes from Ray in Poland, and it is a lovely scene. Every time I look at this, I see something that is just a little bit different on here. Look at that guy on the tightrope. Anyway, just really, really lovely. And let me share with you the stamps. The next card comes from China. They did not put their name down, but it's a beautiful card. I actually used Google Translate to see if this said anything, and it does, but it seems like it's a bunch of random words. So lovely there, and there is the stamp. The next card comes from Alex in Norway. And I love crowns and everything. So this, of course, is what King Charles now is wearing, but Queen Elizabeth, the official crown. I once heard that the Queen practiced before her coronation wearing this because it weighs about 5 pounds. And think about putting a 5-pound bag of sugar on your head. So there is the postage stamp. The next card comes from Mark in Canada, and it is a lovely reflection scene. I love things like that. And the stamp. The next card comes from Hong Kong, Simon in Hong Kong. And Simon sent me a maxi card with the penguins from their local zoo. And there are more stamps on the back, so let me share those with you. The next card comes from Roxanne in France, and it is a lovely steampunk kind of train. Very nice. And the stamp. Elena from Finland sends the next card, and it is, of course, the Engeluk aunties. Love them. They are just always so happy, those two. And let me show you the stamps. All right, and the next card comes from China. This is from Kai in China, and it is a meetup card. Love that. And there are the stamps for you. Michael sends the next card, and this is from Germany. And it is these geese. Love them. And the stamps. The next card comes from Austria. Oh, sorry about that. Had to think about that. And it is a lot of different scenes of royalty and the palace and everything. And there are the stamps. And then the last card comes from Finland. It comes from Anne in Finland, and Anne made me a postcard. And so it's a cutout of a bottlenose dolphin. Love that. And it came in an envelope. So let me share with you the stamps on the envelope. All right, so that is all of my official postcards. Now I want to share with you direct swap cards. The first one comes from my friend Catherine, who is currently on vacation. She's also a fellow professor, and she's currently on vacation in Gulfport. And this is a wooden postcard. It is gorgeous. Love it. Very thick postcard, but I love that scene on the front. The next card comes from Juan, and it is a direct swap. She did this artwork, and she is trying to promote Postcrossing and the U.S. Postal Service. The next card comes from Tiny Mouse. Tiny Mouse's channel is linked down below. Please do go visit her. She hasn't put up any postcards lately, but I know that's going to change because that's what she said. But it is a meetup card. Tiny Mouse goes to many meetups, and she's always so good and sends me a postcard, but I miss seeing her, or hearing her, I should say, on her channel. She's just got the most wonderful voice, and I could just listen to her all the time. She also does a lot of thrifting, and I always like looking at the thrift shops in England to see what's in those thrift shops. They're so small compared to our gargantuan, very disorganized Goodwills and things like that here. The ones in Great Britain seem to be more curated, if you will. And so I always love picking things out, things I would have bought. So Charmaine sends the next postcard, and it is a lovely lady. Very cool. Charmaine is a talented photographer, very talented. So the next postcard comes from Ashuld, and she sends me this beautiful, and it's in plastic to protect it, but this beautiful photo of a jellyfish that she took. I love that so much. And her decorating skills are gorgeous. So let me cover up my address and some of what's going on here. But everything is related to the sea. So thank you, Ashuld. Now, continuing on with the direct swaps. Could not think there. Direct swaps. All of the following postcards come from members of the Unicorn Gang. So if you don't know, the Unicorn Gang, there are 8 of us in the Unicorn Gang, and our job is just to promote happiness and send happy mail between each other. And so I have received several postcards from the Unicorn Gang. So the first one that I received came from Steve in Australia, Stephen in Australia. And he wrote, "Welcome to the magical world of unicorns." And then wrote me a really nice note inside here about being a part of the Unicorn Gang. So thank you so much, Stephen, for that. I really love it. The next couple of postcards come from Isabel in Chile. Her channel is linked down below. Please do go check it out. And so she has sent me an official, not an official, she has sent me a meetup card and has included the requisite unicorn there. It's a unicorn cat, love that. And then Isabel also sent me a second one, and it is a puppy, a golden retriever, I think. And again, as a member of the Unicorn Gang, there has to be a unicorn on there, and there we have our unicorn. The next card comes from Rob in Canada. His channel is linked down below. Please do go check him out. And it is Queen Elizabeth. Lovely, lovely lady. I miss her. And Rob as well, like I said, is a member of the Unicorn Gang. And there is the required unicorn. So thank you, Rob. And Rob really loves to decorate his postcards. He's come very far from when we first met Rob. The next card comes from Olia. Olia also has a channel linked down below. And this card is just gorgeous. I love that. I wish I was thin and could wear something like that. And Olia is fantastic at decorating her cards and the required unicorn. But Olia wasn't done there. She sent me this card. I enjoy very much food packaging cards. And this is a salted caramel chocolate bar, and it is a favorite of hers. And there we are with the required unicorn. And then the last two cards that I have are from the leader of the Unicorn Gang, and that would be Jilly B, living her life her way. Her channel's linked down below as well. Please do go check her out. And so the first card that I received is this. This is some ice lollies, popsicles as we call them here in the United States. Again, food packaging. But what's really neat about this card is that Jilly made a video while she was decorating this card. And so if you go to her channel, you can actually see how she decorated it. And I was hoping it was for me while I was watching the video, but I wasn't sure. But she decorated this just so beautifully. And oh, and it's like, where is the unicorn? I knew there was one. It's on the front. She ran out of space on the back. And then the last card also comes from Jilly. And Jilly sent me one of her, she's doing collage on postcards. And so she sent me this beautiful postcard that she had created. There's the unicorn right there in the center. And I love that big sea turtle. Oh, so cute. And included in there were stickers and more stickers. So, sea turtle, another sea turtle, and then manatees. Oh, I love manatees. Love them, love them, love them so much. They are the gentle giants of the ocean. And it's also where rumor has it that sailors got the idea for mermaids. So those were all of the cards that came in that were official and for direct swaps. The last thing for postcards that I want to share is that I did receive my postcard mixer order. So let me just share with you what came in this time. And so Rumana always sends a little note. So this time he sent, this is a magnet for the United States 250 years. I don't really know if I celebrated so much this year. Wasn't feeling it. But these are all blank, okay? And so let me just share with you. The first one is St. Louis, Route 66. Route 66 made out of license plate parts. The famous arch in St. Louis. This next one is a beautiful waterfall in Grand Canyon. Another Grand Canyon. This is artwork by, this is Calico Girl by Tanya Beck, aged 10. This one is Primitive Man by Trinity Kaiway, age 10. Gettysburg. This is also Gettysburg, but a very vintage picture of Gettysburg after the Gettysburg Battle. Mount Greylock, the highest peak in Massachusetts. And this meeting house, it's a Quaker meeting house. So those are all of the postcards that I received in my postcard mixer packet for this month. I love this little packet. I purchased an entire year subscription because I appreciate it so much. So that's it for postcards. Let me take you to the next part of my video. All right, so we're gonna start off with our cross stitch now. I have been very busy. I am currently on summer break from teaching, and so I get time to cross stitch a little bit more. Sorry, that's Haven who just suddenly had an itch to scratch. But I have been very busy cross stitching. It has been so hot here that it's really important to stay inside. And when I'm cross stitching, I am always watching FlossTube, other videos, people who are cross stitching as well. And one of them is Homemade on the Ridge. Her name is Maggie. And Maggie had a giveaway and I won the giveaway. And so Maggie sent me, this is Blackbird Designs, Hung for the Holidays. And it is a book of cross-stitch designs by Blackbird Designs. And so I looked through here. First off, this is one I'm definitely going to do because I love cardinals. But I was looking through here and I found several different charts that I really want to put together. Now, one of the things that I will do, for instance, on this cardinal is I might lighten up the colors a little bit, make them a little bit more vibrant. I'm not very much of a vintage kind of person. So yeah. But anyway, so thank you so much, Maggie. I will link her channel down below. She is one of a multitude of FlossTubers that I watch, but I was so happy to win this. And Maggie is kind of local. She's only about 2 hours away from me. So yeah, that was a real surprise. When I was last here and actively cross-stitching before I went to StitchCon, I told you that I was working on Banner of Benevolence, and I was hoping to get it done while I was at StitchCon so that I could ring the bell. And I am happy to say that I did get to ring the bell. And so this is Banner of Benevolence. Oops, that's not all of it. That's all of it. And I am absolutely thrilled with this. I am not sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm thinking that I'm going to frame it. I had thought about putting it into a project bag. I've shown you project bags that I've sewed in the past, but I think it's a little bit too long. It would make too big of a project bag, so I'm thinking instead of framing it. So anyway, that is Banner of Benevolence. And if you will recall in my last video, I think it was the StitchCon video, I gave away the pattern for that. And so random draw, I picked a name. I'm gonna put it right here, the name that was drawn. And they have already received their the pattern. I sent it to them, I connected up with them and sent it to them, and they have already received it. So I am so happy to have done that. Then when I was at StitchCon, I fell in love with this pattern. First off, I love Bent Creek. I think they are absolutely adorable. So land that I love. And it is just the cutest little bald eagle. Gotta love him. So, you know, I had to stitch him. So here he is. So I put together little land that I love. Totally adorable. So yeah, he came out really cute. Made me happy. When I was at StitchCon, I had a couple of table mates. One of the table mates was Michelle. Michelle, hopefully you are watching this, but she gave us a little kit that was to for you to cross stitch, and I put it together. Absolutely adorable. It took me less than an hour to be able to put this together, and she thought of everything. Woo! including the backing for it, a little felt backing, but it's a tiny hoop. Oh my goodness. So I am getting ready to make another bag, and so I'm thinking about making that as one of the things on my bag. So thank you so much, Michelle. I loved doing that. And then another person was walking around and giving away this adorable little pattern. It's a 3D stitchable, okay? Now, it is this tiny little dinosaur. Hopefully, let me block me out, see if that will help focus it. Anyway, it is just this little round 3D printed canvas, and I have made it into a zipper pull for one of my bags. And so I just think this is absolutely adorable. There's the pattern way back here. And so yeah, a little stegosaurus. So thank you so much for that. I enjoyed that. Again, less than an hour to put that together. Now, during one of my last retreats, the very first one that I ever went to, which was Stitches, Sips, and Sweets, they gave us a pattern to put on a board, and I stitched up the pattern, and it says, "Not all who wander are lost, some are looking for coffee." Well, I'm not a coffee drinker, but I thought, well, let me go ahead and put this together. And I like it, but I don't love it. I don't know. I don't love it. But I put it together. I cross-stitched it. It's all good. I don't know what I'll do with it. I'll think of something. But then when I was at StitchCon, because I finished Banner of Benevolence, I started another pattern, and this is by Emma Congdon, and it says, "We don't inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children." So this is my working copy here. Okay, and the fabric that I am stitching this on is Picture This Plus Gaia, and it is in a 14 count Aida. Gaia, by the way, means earth, which is why I thought it was so appropriate to put this on to that. And so since StitchCon, which is the middle of, I went the weekend of the 18th of June, so it's been about a month, and I have cross-stitched a fair bit of this. So this is where I am at right now. I finished last night putting in the 2 bears. So there is that. And I'm not quite done with 2 pages. There's the entire thing, so you can see where I've been at. But the first thing I got stitched was the ocean down there with the 2 orca, which I love. And so now I've moved up here to the bears. I'm gonna stitch the mountains. And then after the mountains, you know, I will probably move on over here and stitch this. I wanna save the sun for last for some reason. So yeah, and again, this fabric is just gorgeous. It's not getting picked up really well, I don't think, but it is a pale blue and a pale green, which represents the earth, right? We're a blue and green planet. So yeah, I am loving that stitch. Very, very nice. And I am keeping that in one of the bags that I made that I showed on my channel here not too long ago. And the bag tag on here is a sea turtle, and this celebrates, no, does not celebrate. It supports San Salvador, Bahamas National Parks, which were established in 2015. And as many of you know, every couple of years I teach a class that goes to the Bahamas. And so when I was there this last time, I picked up another one of these, and I'm using that as my bag tag. And the fabric on the inside is bubbles. Woo. So that is that one. And you might think that's pretty good for a month, but I also wanted to stitch what was my favorite pattern from market release this past year. And that was Glory in the Wind by Robin Pickens. And see, it's these birds that are building the flag out of scraps. I love that. And so this is still in the hoop. I'm not taking it out because I think everything's gonna fit in here. But this is where I am at right now. Now, somewhere in here, I have made a counting error and I cannot find it. And I don't look for it. I don't know where it's at, and I don't care because what I'm doing is I'm filling in this area over here, and then I'm going to try to, from here, fill in this area up here, and then somehow fudge whatever the mistake is. But one of the reasons I know is because this bird right here, his feet land on this red part right here, right? But my bird's feet are not landing there. So somewhere I have made a counting error, and I don't quite know where it is, but I'm gonna figure out how to fudge it. That's just what I'm gonna do. So that is it for my cross stitch. But one of the things that I wanted to do before I go on to books is that I wanted to do another little giveaway. And so if you would like to be a part of the giveaway, first off, it is for a pattern by Jeanette Douglas. I cross-stitched this earlier this year. Let me pull it out of the packaging for you. It's just a picture. It's called Chubby You. I love sheep. And so this was a quick stitch, just took me maybe 3 days to be able to put together. But I always make a working copy of the pattern, so the pattern that is in here is still in perfect condition. And so if you would like this pattern, then I am going to ask you to use the word chubby in a comment. And a week from today, I will draw a name for this. The giveaway is international. You can be anywhere in the world, and I will send you this. Couple of things. Please, number one, do not say anything like giveaway, win, you know, anything like that to kind of tip off the bots that are following us all around. The other thing as well is that you must be 18 years old in order for me to be able to ask you for your address. So sorry if you're under 18, but if you're under 18, maybe you could have one of your parents enter for you. But anyway, if you would like Chubby You, just let me know. Again, use the word chubby and make it clean. And yeah, and I will send you that pattern if you are the winner. So all right, so that is my cross-stitch progress over the past couple of weeks. Another one of my hobbies is that I very much enjoy doing paper crafts, particularly making handmade cards that I can then send to friends. I also send cards to seniors who are in nursing homes. It was something that I started back during the pandemic. It's a program called Letters Against Isolation. If you're at all interested, it is an international program. So for instance, if you are in the UK and you want to send postcards to seniors in the UK, there are lots of nursing homes, Meals on Wheels, that kind of stuff where you can send them to, and they're distributed to seniors. So I usually try to send out 5 every week. So that means that I go through a lot of cards, and I've got a lot of supplies. As you can see, these are these two right here on my in my calyx unit back there. That's all paper, and then the bases for my paper is there, and then I have rubber stamps and all kinds of stuff there as well that I use. But what I've been trying to do is use up some things that I've had and just to kind of get rid of them. So I sat down and I made a set of cards. They're all basically the same format, but it's okay. So this, and they're all blank inside. I haven't written anything yet. So, but I'm just trying to use up some paper, you know. Hello. Use up some old embellishments and stuff that I have, you know. The next set that I'm going to show you, I have had the stickers in that set for well over 10 years. But I was just trying to do something a little bit different, use up some of these old die cut things, because I don't really scrapbook anymore. I haven't scrapbooked really for a couple of years now. And so all of these things are just sitting there, and I don't want them to just sit there. I did donate a lot to local schools, paper and embellishments and that kind of stuff. So yeah. So that's one set. And then last night I just got a bug and decided to come in, and I had, I was doing some reorganizing here in my office and craft room, and just getting rid of some things that I haven't used for a very long time. And so I came across a set of stickers that easily are 12 years old. And I thought, it's time to use them. So I used the same basic layout. So like on these ones, right, it's this two different pieces of paper here with something else. And so I used basically the same thing, but it's different colors. There's little frogs and mushrooms. But I love brighter colors, and so like I said, it's just stickers that weren't going to get used any other way. I mean, I have 11 billion stickers, so that one's got a little bit of a shine to it. But I think to myself, people really aren't picky, and they really enjoy something that's handwritten coming in your mail. So that's why I've got these. So those are cards that I put together, and I'll be able to send out coming up soon. All right, so from there, let me get together all of my cross stitch. And then the last thing I want to do is talk about books that I have read. So I finished a couple of different books. The first one that I finished was Enchanted August. And I enjoyed this one. I was reading it the last time. It was a pretty good book. It's all about a couple of people who end up getting together at this rental beach house that don't know each other, and yet they all become very good friends. There's a guy whose name I think was Lindsay. Anyway, but they thought it was a woman, but it wasn't. But he's a little, he's eccentric. Anyway, this was a good book. I really enjoyed it. I will be passing that one on. Then I also finished listening to The Calamity Club, which I will put a picture up here of that book because I got that as an audio book from my library and listened to it. It was 28 hours long. It was a very long book. So I finished reading that. And then I've got a couple of other books that are on the go right now. And so I always have an audio book going. I have a book that I am reading, like a hardcover kind of book, a paper book. And then also a book on my Kindle. Right now on my Kindle, I am reading Theo of Golden. And it's a very interesting book so far. It's about an older gentleman who purchases pictures that were hand-drawn and gives them to the people that are in the pictures. So it's very interesting so far. I'm waiting to see exactly what's going on. So anyway, so I've been enjoying reading, and I think that reading is very important. Hopefully you read as well. All right. That is everything for today. I am so excited to be done and be able to put all of this stuff away. I store it over here. I have a box that I put everything in for my videos and everything. So yeah, I want to thank you for being here today, for sharing this time with me and with Miss Haven. We both enjoy the friendships that we've made here, and hopefully we're inspiring you to think about your hobbies and, really treasure the time. Take the time to be able to enjoy the things that bring you joy it's important that you engage in those. The world is heavy right now. And so find the things that bring you joy and be able to really get into it, find time to be a part of those hobbies. So until I see you again, please stay safe and healthy. And if you've not been vaccinated, please do get vaccinated. Vaccines save lives. All right, until next time, my friends, bye for now.